Hello friends, Sarah here with the Children's Museum of Eau Claire and Abe, and today we are going to make a yarn hanger for my plant so I can hang it from the ceiling. So what you're going to need for this is a plant, and you can use a real plant or a fake plant depending on what you want to do. I do suggest a real plant because in the winter they're really good for filtering air, so you have some really nice clean air in your house. If you're going to be inside a lot. So what you're going to need is some yarn or some macrame, any kind of string that's strong enough to hold the pot and the plant that you're going to be using. And then you're going to need an even number of strings. So I made mine pretty long because I want to put lots of knots in it, and I want it to be able to hang pretty low because my plant might get a little bit taller. So you're going to need an even number of strings, and the first thing you're going to do is cut them all the same length. So you can see mine. This is doubled over, but mine are pretty long, right? And you're going to take one end with all of the strings together, and you're going to tie a knot in it. You're going to leave a little bit of string at the bottom as like a little decoration. If you want, you can leave lots down on the bottom, and you can either braid them together or you can put beads on it, whatever you want to do for the bottom. But I'm just going to tie a knot in mine and just have a little bit hanging out the bottom. And then when we're all done with it, what you can do is you can actually brush these out. So you can untwist them so that it's a little bit fluffier at the bottom. So kind of like that. So they'll all be like a little bit fluffier rather than just the strands going out the bottom. So now that you have the knot in the bottom, this is what's going to go on the bottom of the plant. So the pot is going to rest right here. Okay. And then you're going to take two strings and knot them together. So you can either measure your pot or you can just kind of wing it and see what happens. It's probably a little bit better to measure your pot so that the pot isn't falling out the bottom of it. So you're going to take two of the strings, and you're going to tie them together. You're going to get them kind of close to your knot, your first knot, depending where your pot is. Okay, so I got two, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches away from my knot, my original knot. And then I'm going to take two more and do the same thing. So I'm going to do that to the remaining strings that aren't tied. And the next one you're going to do, you're going to make it the same length as that first one. Okay, so you're going to put it about the same length away from that knot. So you're going to make it right there. And you're going to do that to all the rest of them, make them the same length apart. And if you want, you can use different colored strings. You can put beads on when you're doing these knots. However you want to do it to decorate it. I've done a few of these and they're all really different and they're really fun. So you can add some braids in there. You can add anything you feel like. Okay, so once you have your first round of knots in there, they're all the same length apart. What you're going to do next is you're going to take, so you have 4 knots in there now. You're going to take one string from one knot and one string from the knot next to it, and you're going to tie those together so that your knots are ending up on top of each other. So one string from one knot, one string from the other knot, and you're going to tie them together right up here. Again, you can measure your pot if you would like, otherwise you can just wing it. Okay, so then you're going to take the string next to it. So we have one knot here. We have our 2 knots that we just tied together. Okay, so you're going to take the other string from that one knot and tie it to a knot that hasn't been tied yet. So you're going to break this one in 2 and tie it to this one right here. Again, making it the same length as your next one. Abers. Okay. So now I have 2 of mine that are tied together. You can see how it's kind of making a little bit of a web there. That's where our pot is going to stand. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing with the last remaining single knot. You're going to tie it to the one that already has a knot on it. you want to teach a younger kiddo how to do this, you can also do different colors. That's a really easy way. I know I said that earlier, but if you wanted to do like rainbow, and you could say tie the green one and the blue one together, that's a super easy way to do it also. Or you could number them, however would make it easier. Okay, so we have all of those ones tied together. Then to make it loop all the way around, we're gonna tie these last two together right here. The ones that aren't tied, we're gonna tie them together so that it loops all the way around, and it's gonna make a little net. Okay, so you can see now I have our original knot, and then we have 4 more knots, and then we have 4 more knots. So it's kind of holding, making a little net here for the pot. So now you're gonna keep going up like that. So you're gonna take one string from one knot and one string from another knot, and you're gonna keep going. Okay, so I did 1 more layer of knots, as you can see, and then I have put my pot in it, and then this is what it will look like. So again, you can add more knots in there if you like, depending how you want. We just went with a simple one today, and then I am gonna brush this out so it's a little more fringy at the bottom too, but then I'm gonna hang this from the ceiling so that I can have a plant in the air. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions on this one, I know it's a little bit tougher, go ahead and you can message us, and I can give you some pointers on it. Or like I said, if you do it in different colors, it's a little bit easier for the littles to do. But hanging pots are awesome, and they make a great decoration piece, and they're super fun for the kiddos to do. So enjoy.